welcome to the first ever episode of the brand new podcast, Big Man, Little Guy. I am your host, Brendan Reilly, along here with my co-host,
Charles Watson.
And we'd like to welcome you. This is a brand new podcast, like I already said. This is our idea. This is my brainchild. I spearheaded this campaign to get this podcast, and pretty much we're just gonna talk about sports, talk about some pop culture stuff, just anything that you would hear around campus from a 14 through 18-year-old here on campus. But so the first thing we have to talk about is we have had some state championships over the past couple of days. First one is the cross country team. They were up at where were they in Cary? The girls finished in 4th. The guys finished in 7th. Couldn't get a championship. I mean, it hurts, but it doesn't look well for the South Charlotte Cup. But Charles, what do you got on that?
We have a lot to look forward to, and sophomore Marion Donald, one of the leaders on the team, she's going to be back next year and the year after, so a lot of upside on the girls' side. I don't know too much about the boys, but we should, hard work wins the state championship, so maybe next year, guys.
Yeah, Marion Donald, the number one Donald in the school. What up, AD? And then we had the field hockey state championship on Saturday morning. I was there. I was at the field. And let me tell you, that was a snooze fest. That game was boring. Not because it was field hockey, but because the game was very long. There's a lot of penalties or fouls or whatever. And it was 3-0. I mean, we dominated the whole game for the most part. There was only one part I remember that PD even held the ball on the other side of the field. It was for 2 minutes in the first half, but it was a good game. I mean, it's a state championship. I mean, we can all take them. They went 21-0, and they finished in the top 25 in the country. I mean, you can't do much better than that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they were led by senior captain Caroline Baylaw, who is committed to Wake Forest. So, and we have some returning talent. There's a lot of stuff that we can look forward to in this because we have a lot of seniors leaving, but a lot of junior talent returning.
Yeah. So the last major sport in the fall that hasn't had their state championship yet is soccer. And there's a little controversy on the soccer team. I mean, there's reports I've heard from multiple sources that the soccer team tanked apparently. But I don't understand how you can play a sport, and it's supposed to be your sport that you love, and you play, and you're just gonna tank it. I mean, Charles, what do you got on that?
Yeah, I mean, they were a fairly high seed going into the playoffs, and they were expected to go pretty far, and for some reason, 2 games into the playoffs, one game into the playoffs, they just kind of blew it. I don't really know what was going through the minds of the senior captains. I guess, the leadership wasn't that strong on this 2017-2018 soccer team.
Yeah, I mean, that's just bad that just looks bad for everyone. I mean, from every player top to bottom. The fact that your captains can't lead your team and they lead you straight into the ground, that's pretty bad. So enough about Latin sports. Oh, but one thing, we also got the football team in the state playoffs. They dropped into Division II. I mean, didn't get where they wanted to be. But there's a young team there. They'll hopefully come back next year. Got Coach Harden that'll be taking over at the helm. But enough about Latin talk. We're going to talk about some NBA talk. So the NBA, very, very young into the season. The Warriors and the Cavs are trash right now. If you haven't seen, they're both under 500. I mean, it's just not. They're not. They're under 500. They don't look good right now. The best team in the NBA, Celtics.
Yeah, can't argue. It was tough for the Celtics because, Gordon Hayward got hurt first game of the year. It was pretty rough, but they seemed to kind of bond together around Kyrie. Their new player has been balling out this year, and so yeah.
Yeah, most recent game he had 24 points, 6 assists. That's what you need from a leader. I mean, you need it. But also they have surrounding talent from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, Al Horford and Aaron Baines have been playing well. I mean, that's what you need. That's what you need. You can't rely on one player like LeBron, like in Cleveland. So that's NBA talk. Then we have World Series talk. Charles, what do you got in the World Series?
Well, the Astros have just been, in my opinion, dominating the World Series. The Dodgers have gotten early leads almost every game, but the Astros rally around Altuve most of the time. He's one of the clutchest players in the MLB.
So the series is 3-2 as we're recording this. Game 5 was insane. I mean, I don't know if you watched it, but I stayed up for it. The fact that they went down 4-0, or nope, 3-0, nope, 4-0. Yep. They went down 4-0, then 7-4. Came back, took the lead, then blew that lead, and have come back. Then came back, won the game. It's just insane. I mean, Jose Altuve is insane, but I'm also gonna say Yuli Gurriel. Watch out, because he might have done some things in a game. Was it 3? Game 4? That weren't politically correct, as the folks say it. But he has probably been their next best player this whole postseason. I mean, he absolutely torched the Red Sox. I remember that. A Red Sox fan, so it hurts saying that. But he torched the Red Sox, torched the Yankees, and he's doing that same. I think that they'll win it. I don't think they'll win tonight or in Game 6, but they'll win in Game 7. Even in LA, but I think it's still their series to win right here. And so now we turn our attention to the NFL. Over the breaking news just happened. Jay Ajayi on his way to Philadelphia for a 4th-round pick. Charles is an Eagles fan, and I'm sure he has some hot takes on that.
Yeah, as a Philadelphia fan, we're very excited to welcome in Jay Ajayi to the program. We're already the best team in the league, best record, and Carson Wentz is arguably the MVP favorite through this part of the year. He's been absolutely shredding defenses, including the Panthers, which was not even really competition for him. But, we already have running backs like LeGarrette Blount and Clements, but, Jay Ajayi is also a good add, with the speed. LeGarrette Blount's, you got the power, and Jay Ajayi's coming up with the speed, so that should be good.
And some news that came last night, the Patriots traded away the most handsome man in New England, Jimmy Garoppolo, for a 2nd-round pick. A pick that the Patriots would probably then flip for probably a tight end or a defensive end or something. Traded away the future. They're investing in Tom Brady for the next couple of years. I was listening to the radio this morning, and they were talking about Daniel Jones, quarterback of Charlotte Latin, freshman year, so 3 years ago now, starting quarterback at Duke, that he would be the next disciple of Tom Brady, be the next backup whenever he's ready to come out to the draft. So the Patriots only carrying one quarterback now. That's a little bit of a problem, but we're probably going to pick up Brian Hoyer, have him come back after all these years. Eagles, they might have the best record in the NFL, but I'm not sure they're the best team. But Jay Ajayi definitely does help them, even though LeGarrette Blount's the better back. Last topic is college football. Charles, you're a pretty big college football fan. I'll turn this over to you.
Oh, yeah. Huge Georgia Bulldog fan. Proud to see us coming at number 2 in the nation right now. With the new Kirby Smart era, our defense is looking stellar this year. And Penn State took a big loss this weekend to Ohio State. That was a crazy game. I don't know if anybody watched it, but Ohio State came back in the last seconds of the game to beat the number 2 team in the nation. Obviously, Alabama still number 1. They're still dominating everyone they play. TCU also took an L, which was kind of surprising. But, anything else, Brendan?
The thing that I hate is now that because Ohio State beat Penn State, Ohio State is going to, when the college football playoff rankings come out, they're going to be in the top 4, which I just absolutely hate. I do not like Urban Meyer at all. Our production manager, Jacob Halpern, shaking his head. Ohio State, they get lucky every year. I mean, they always have a bad loss. I mean, they got smacked by Oklahoma. I mean, they always have a bad loss, and then somehow they're able to resurrect their season and go and not lose after that and end up in the college football playoff. But we saw that Clemson was a lot better than them last year. 10 right now. You got some undefeateds in there, but they're not in the top like Miami. They're, what are they, 9th right now? Or 8th or 9th? Yeah. There's a lot of teams that are still left to be, we have to see a lot more on how this season is about to play out. So one more bonus topic. I am very mad because my favorite show of all time is being pulled after this season after some controversy that came out yesterday. So House of Cards, you all might know it, the Netflix original. So Frank Underwood, or Kevin Spacey, who plays him, there's some controversy surrounding them. I'm not going to get into the details. It's kind of, it's not a right topic, but so they're pulling the show. I understand it, but I'm very mad. That show, it helped me get through finals last year. More watching it than studying probably, but that show it's really helped Spurs Netflix original series. But this is also gonna lead to the impending collapse of Netflix. What do you got, Charles?
I agree. House of Cards was a really big deal, in the years that it's been on, and that was a big money maker for Netflix because a lot of people watched it, including Brendan. So if they shut that down, it's gonna be not, in my opinion, not a good thing for Netflix in the future.
But they also have tons of other shows that they're just cranking out now, but that's also hurting them because they're spending tons of money on that. But it's really it's hurting Netflix, and it's sad to see that the show's going, but but it kind of has to now because he's a creep. So, so now we have our interview with starting running back for your Charlotte Lightning Hawks, DeMarcus Stratford. All right, so we'd like to welcome DeMarcus Stratford onto the podcast, starting running back for your Charlotte Lightning Hawks. How you doing today, DeMarcus?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing swell. Thanks for asking. So, since we last had you on, this is actually the third time we're doing this interview. Our production manager, Jacob Halpern, forgot to record it last time. But so since we last did this, DeMarcus had some big games against our arch rivals, who were playing in the state championship, Charlotte Country Day. He ran for a mere 350 yards and 6 touchdowns. I mean, how were you feeling after that game?
I was feeling really good. Shout out to the O-line, including you, because I know you in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had a good game, and we showed it on against Country Day. Hopefully we can do it again this Friday.
Yeah, hopefully. So you have talked about how you just won this award, the Wendy's High School Athlete of the Year. Tell us a little about that.
Oh, well, the coaches nominated me, and I filled out the paperwork and submitted it. And I'm very honored to receive that award, and I think it's going to be a good experience going to the banquet.
What does that entail? What is this, like a national award, or what is it?
I think it's just for the Charlotte area. So.
All right. How does it feel that your high school career is dwindling down, coming to an end?
It went by really fast. So I remember when the season first started, it was the summer, and now we're nearing December. So it's pretty crazy how time flies, but I'm just enjoying it while it lasts.
Interesting. So how does it feel that if you get maybe like 2 yards, you're gone? You hit a hole and you get like 3 yards downfield and you're just gone.
Once again, shout out to the line, because I mean, when I get that hole, I just gotta run. So it's not too much work. It's just like sprinting the full 50 or 100 yards. So it's like a 100-yard dash. So shout out to the line.
How does it feel that you're going from being one of the best athletes in your local area to a level of play where there's going to be a bunch of yous?
It's going to be really fun and really aggressive, and it's going to be really fun to meet new people and play against really good athletes, so I'm looking forward to it.
How did you decide on Harvard?
I took a few visits a couple of months back, and I visited Harvard last actually, and I got a feeling that I knew that was where I wanted to be, and so it's pretty much a feeling when you commit that you know like that's where you need to be, and that's what I felt with Harvard.
Was there any other factors? Did Tim Murphy have recruiting tactics like one Rick Pitino, or did he not know about his recruiting tactics, but he obviously knew?
Well,
any legal things going on there?
Everything's legal, man. Don't worry about that. But also, with engineering, they have a joint program in my team, and I wanted to major in the field of engineering, so that also contributed to my decision.
All right, so that's going to do it for our interview with DeMarcus Stratford. This concludes the first episode of Big Man Little Guy. I've been Brendan Reilly, and it's been
Charles Watson.
And signing off for now. We'll see you guys back in a couple weeks. Love you guys.